It's Patrick from the Screenplay app, the app for student screenwriters. Every week I pose a question or comment to all you screenwriters out there and see what's inside that creative head of yours. Let's begin. Who is your favorite screenwriter of all time and why? I'm going to tell you who my favorite is. I'm also going to give you some honorable mentions. Before I tell you who my favorite screenwriter is, it's interesting. When I was doing the list, I realized that most of my favorite, actually all of my favorite screenwriters are writers and directors. Why is this? I don't know. It's just that some screenwriters start out as screenwriters. Eventually, they direct. Because of that, they just happen to be directors. When I chose the list, though, I look at them as screenwriters. So let's begin. My favorite screenwriter of all time is Quentin Tarantino. To many of y'all who's been watching this channel, it's probably not a surprise. You already know how I feel about Quentin Tarantino. I believe he is the greatest screenwriter of all time only because he just knows how to write great stories. He's just so good at building suspense and character and plot and dialogue, of course. He's one of the best. As a matter of fact, is he the best dialogue writer out there? I don't know. It's tough. There's, of course, others, which I'll mention in a little bit. Quentin Tarantino is one of those screenwriters that I think to myself, this guy is just amazing. How do you be so consistent? Every screenplay he writes is just so amazing. Let's talk about which screenplay of his is my favorite of all time. The Hateful Eight. The Hateful Eight, yes, it's not my favorite Tarantino film. It's my favorite Tarantino screenplay. The Hateful Eight, first of all, it's a very long screenplay. That screenplay, if I'm not mistaken, is over 180 pages, I believe. It's 180 pages. It reads like it's 2 pages. I'm not lying. When I was done reading it, I was like, that's it. I need more. I want more. The Hateful Eight is so well written. What's so amazing about it is that it takes place in two settings. A stagecoach and a bar. Yes, a stagecoach and a bar. You have over 180 pages of things taking place in a bar and a stagecoach. Now, you have to be some type of unhuman person to be able to give us a story that keeps us engaged like that. And Tarantino, he is inhuman in a good way because I was so wrapped up in The Hateful Eight. I'm talking about the suspense, the build-up, and the conclusion, the characters, the dialogue, the humor, everything about this screenplay is amazing. Now the film, that's a whole nother story. The film is divisive. Some people think it's not Tarantino's best film. I could understand. It's not my best Tarantino film. My favorite Tarantino film is Inglourious Basterds. And The Hateful Eight is still great. I love The Hateful Eight. It's just not my favorite Tarantino film. Because of that, I can understand why it may not be other people's favorite Tarantino film. The screenplay, though, the screenplay is just so amazing. And yeah, let's talk about some honorable mentions where, even though Tarantino is my favorite, those I'm about to mention came very close. James Cameron. James Cameron is one of those screenwriters where when he writes scene description, he is amazing at writing scene description. If you haven't read the screenplay for Aliens, not the original, Aliens with an S, that screenplay, I'm talking about, you want to know about suspense? When I was reading that screenplay, I was at the edge of my seat or couch or wherever I was doing. It was just so intense. What's even more remarkable about that, I saw the film. I knew what was going to happen, but the screenplay still had me engaged. James Cameron is one of the best at writing scene description. He keeps his scene description very precise. There's no added extra stuff in there just to add stuff. Every bit of writing in the scene description is there for a reason. It is so tight. As a result, the pacing just makes the pacing so amazing. Aliens is wow. If you haven't read Aliens yet, hit me up. I think I got you. Who else? Richard Linklater. Richard Linklater, he's another one who's great at characters, right? He's also good at dialogue. His strength, I believe, is characters. He just knows how to get in the characters' heads. He knows what emotion to bring out of them. He knows just what they're thinking even before they're thinking it, if that makes sense. Richard Linklater is very good at building characters, building them up, breaking them down, and putting them back together. He's just so wonderful at it. My favorite screenplay of his in film is Before Sunrise. Let's talk about the Before trilogies. If you don't know anything about the Before trilogies, stop what you're doing right now and go look for them. It's Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, and Before Midnight. The Before trilogy is the best trilogy of all time. Yes, I've said it. I'm talking to you, Captain America, which is one of my favorite trilogies of all time. The Before trilogy is definitely one of the best trilogies. Richard Linklater, he's amazing. Another honorable mention is Aaron Sorkin. Matter of fact, Aaron Sorkin, he wrote my favorite screenplay of all time, which is The Social Network. You already know how I feel about The Social Network. I feel that I should make a video just talking about The Social Network. That's how much I love that screenplay. If you ever read The Social Network, read it. Aaron Sorkin, another honorable mention. Who else is an honorable mention? Woody Allen, another honorable mention. Woody Allen, I believe he wrote the first screenplay where the characters broke the fourth wall. I may be wrong on this one. If I am, let me know in the comments. Woody Allen, he's so consistent with his writing. He's very, very good at quirkiness and dialogue. He's definitely another screenwriter you should study. Aside from all the controversy he has, he's definitely a great writer. Maybe you're a new screenwriter starting out and you haven't read that many screenplays to know who your favorite screenwriter is. If so, then you have some recommendations from me. Go check out those screenwriters and maybe they might be one of your favorite screenwriters one day. Or you might have a new screenwriter that you just started to discover now. If there's a new screenwriter that you're starting to read about, let me know. I love to read their material, of course. A funny story is when I first started writing screenplays, I hated reading screenplays. I thought to myself, why would I read a screenplay when I could just watch the movie? Yes, I was that naive. And perhaps that's how you feel right now. I totally understand. I'm not going to pressure you into reading screenplays. One thing I'll tell you though, from personal experience, I wish I started reading screenplays a lot sooner. Soon as I started reading screenplays, I realized that there are a lot of things I'm noticing and screenplays that I'm reading that I've since adjusted with my own writing. Reading screenplays definitely made me a lot better as a writer, and as such, I think it could do the same for you too. Right now, if you're not reading screenplays and you're more focused on writing your own material, that is fine. Eventually though, I want you to start reading a lot of screenplays, and when you do start reading those screenplays, hopefully you discover a favorite screenwriter of yours, and I'd love to know who is your favorite screenwriter of all time. That is our question for this week. Now let's see your answers in the comments below. If you're thinking about writing your first screenplay, go to your favorite app store, download Screenplay app today. The link is in the description below. And remember to always have fun writing. Fade out.